What's going on, folks? This is LB the Realist with Surrealistic Studios, Surreal News, where the real is surreal. So in this video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the matchup we have between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Literally a giant douche and a turd sandwich. A jackass and a dumbass elephant. Not to say elephants are dumb or donkeys are, you know, anything less than respectable animals. But I'm just saying, these are our options. Now, we all know about Donald Trump. I mean, for me, I feel like I don't have to keep beating a dead horse, for lack of a better term or phrase. But Donald Trump has been an incredibly divisive president. I'm sure Trump supporters or conservatives would at least admit that Trump doesn't hold his tongue and therefore easily, uh, easily, how should I say, easily offends people. Trump does easily offend people. Now, I'm sure we can all agree to that. Now, whether you think that's his fault or whether you think that's, people being too sensitive or people just taking his words and flipping them, that's another story. But we can all agree to that fact. There's a lot of people that would say that if we didn't have Trump, like, let's say we had, like, Mike Pence in office, Mike Pence would be Trump, but just more cognizant. He would be more effective as a Republican president than Donald Trump is, because Trump likes to tweet all the time. So Trump is tweeting all the time. He's tweeting exactly how he feels, or he's saying something, and it comes out wrong. It's going to affect a lot of people. Mike Pence is not going to be like, well, a lot of people would assume that Mike Pence wouldn't be that way. So therefore, they say he'd be more effective as a Republican president. Therefore, he would get more Republican policies and right-wing policies enacted if he was our actual president. So Donald Trump has his issues. Whether you like him, you hate him, or you don't, whatever. It really bugs me when people try to say that Joe Biden is so much better or exponentially better than Donald Trump. I'm like, how? Please explain to me. Now, coming from a black perspective or African American perspective, how is Joe Biden better for black people than Donald Trump? And vice versa, how is Donald Trump better for black people than Joe Biden? Let's compare them a little bit, just a little bit. We don't have all the information, but we have a little bit of information. So Joe Biden was the actual architect of the 1996 crime bill that was put in place to basically combat the crack epidemic, and unintentionally or maybe intentionally locked up a lot of black and brown people, mostly black, a lot of black people during a crack epidemic, and gave them harsh sentences. Made it so they got, third strike and you're out. You go to prison for life. Joe Biden was the architect of that crime bill. Donald Trump, on the other hand, he didn't create a crime bill, but he did create the First Step Act and did some, I guess, meaningful criminal justice reform, because a lot of people that were locked up during the Obama years of presidency actually were released during the Trump years of presidency. Now, we can argue all day about why Trump did it and the optics of it, but let's be very clear and let's argue from a level and a fair standpoint and a level ground here. He actually did those things, regardless of why he did them. So on one hand, you have Joe Biden, who created the Crime Act. On the other hand, you have President Donald Trump, who did the First Step Act and criminal justice reform. Okay. One person is incredibly divisive and the other person is Donald Trump. But it can go either way. The one person is incredibly divisive, and the other person is Joe Biden. They're both incredibly divisive presidents. Now, I guess you can argue that Joe Biden doesn't tweet as much, so therefore, by definition, come on now, Donald Trump is the most divisive president. He's the most divisive out of the two. Okay, fine, I'll give you that one. But Joe Biden is incredibly divisive when he does actually get in front of a camera, or when he does have a microphone, or when he does have the platform. He is incredibly divisive. Mind you, this is the person who said, if you're having a hard time on who to vote for, me versus Donald Trump, then you ain't black. Joe Biden said that. An old white man said that on a black show on the Breakfast Club, talking to Charlemagne the God, one of the hosts of the Breakfast Club radio show. He had the audacity to say that on a black to a black man on a black radio show. If that doesn't show you, to me, that's racist. And I know that's probably not the best word to use for this specific incident, but it has racist tones. To me, that says that because I'm Joe Biden, I can tell, I can dictate who's black and who's not in the black community. Because I'm Joe Biden, because I don't know why he feels entitled to make that judgment call, to say that you're not black if you decide to vote for Donald Trump. I vehemently disagree. I know I'm probably slaughtering that word, but I vehemently disagree with that sentiment. Now, I don't like Donald Trump, and there's a lot of confused ass individuals out there who are going to watch my video or have watched my videos in the past and judge me and made the assumption. People on my timeline on Facebook, people that are in my so-called family, people that have my last name, have called me dangerous to black people because of my views on politics, because I won't fall in line with the jackasses that go against Trump every single day, but never for the right reasons, never for the deep stuff that we should be going after him for, but always for surface level cosmetic BS and nonsense. What Trump tweeted today, who he disrespected, what words he used, what he could have done, what he could have not done. It's always something stupid, and it's never anything of substance that we should be judging him on. So people in my family and people on social media or people that watch my videos tend to think that I'm a Trump supporter, or that they tend to think that I'm by default voting for Donald Trump because I talk about Joe Biden so much, or because I talk about the Democrats, or because I just won't go there with them with the surface level cosmetic bull that they all want to seem to attack Trump over. So I get into conversations with people, in my personal life about Donald Trump, and they seem to sometimes automatically go to defend Donald Trump without even realizing it. And I don't agree with that either. I don't agree that it's either Joe Biden or Donald Trump, a giant douche and a turd sandwich. I don't believe that those are our only two choices, folks. I'm in the camp, hashtag fuck 'em both 2020. I can't in good conscience vote for somebody who created the crime act, the crime bill, who sent so many black men to prison, regardless of who those people are. And there are some people close to me who were affected by that specific act that well, at the time when I spoke to them, they were, strongly in favor of Joe Biden and that crime act, because they said, I don't understand how bad the crack epidemic was. And it's totally true. I was born in 88, okay? So I was a child. I wasn't into politics back then. I don't know how bad it was. I know it was really bad. I do know, however, that act locked up a lot of black people indiscriminately. I do know, however, that Hillary Clinton was on record saying that those people were super, quote unquote, super predators. And there was no love for anybody who sold drugs. And that sentiment carried or carries until this day. There's a lot of people who do not like drug dealers so much they actually put drug dealers in the same category as murderers and rapists and child molesters. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree that we should be categorizing those people in the same way that we do. But that's the reality of it. Okay, whatever, neither here nor there. I can't in good conscience vote for that. The party that enacted that, the party that did that to a people. And I can't in good conscience vote for a party that's okay with institutional racism, that acts like white privilege isn't a thing, that acts like there's good people on both sides. I can't vote for somebody like that. No matter what they did as far as first steps, as far as criminal justice, it hasn't been enough to win me over. It hasn't been enough to win my vote. Especially not with everything else going on. So it's funny to me when people just can't seem to get through their brains that there's more than just two positions. You could operate somewhere here in the gray area, somewhere here in the middle that says, you know what, both sides are freaking crazy. I'm not going to be a part of any of that. And to hell with party politics. To hell with partisanship. Lives are on the line. Lives are being lost every single day because of quote unquote partisanship and party politics. So no, I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to play your game of you only have two choices, and if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then that's default a vote for Trump. You can FUCKOFF. I'm not playing your game. I'm not playing your game. Well, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, then really you're just a Democrat. You're just a lib. Anytime somebody starts using the word lib too much, they don't even say liberal or progressive. They just say libs, the libs. I just automatically, you get my side eye. I'm not doing a side eye right, but you get my gist. Because you're not even, I feel like those people aren't even operating from a fair level standpoint. Like, we can't even meet right here in the middle because you're way out here with it. You're just like libs, this and this and this and this, or anti-regulation, regulation. Every time I hear somebody say regulation too much, my God, my goodness. Okay, so we got a race on our hands here. A lot of people are, one camp is saying that Joe Biden is going to win because, he's losing the Latino support, number one. Number two, he's barely cognizant. The man can barely put together a sentence. I got a whole Joe Biden diss track that I just released. It's one of my last few videos. Go check it out on my channel. It's also available on SoundCloud, the audio. You can check it out. Let me know what you guys think of my Joe Biden diss track. I put some effort into it. I'll put some effort into it, so a little feedback would be nice. A little feedback. Yeah, so we got that option on our hands. And there's also some people saying that Donald Trump will win because he's actually, with all his faults and all his flaws, at least Donald Trump has attempted to do something for us. Right now we're stalled in Congress and in the Senate. Nobody wants to pass anything. Republicans are screaming that the Democrats don't want to pass anything and they don't want to spend too much money. The Republicans don't want to spend too much money. Democrats are screaming, hey, we've been trying to do all this stuff back in the past. We already had the HILls Act. You guys screwed it over and was dead on arrival. Now we're here. Now the latest news is that the Republicans actually put together a skinny bill in the Senate worth like, I believe, $200-300 billion or something like that. Way less than initially than what was needed. Way less than what the Democrats wanted, of course. It's a skinny bill. But the Democrats decided to block it. Now, of course, the skinny bill wasn't exactly everything we needed, but it was, in fact, something. And this is like the second or third time, to my knowledge, that the Democrats have blocked or prevented a bill from being passed. So it's been so frustrating to the point where Donald Trump had to come out and do executive orders or executive actions just to help out the American people while Congress gets it together. I'm trying not to cuss so much. But it's been aggravating, folks. It's been aggravating, but yes, I can at least give Donald Trump credit for that, because I am in agreement that if Congress is completely stalled, it's been months now without, the actual federal boost and unemployment, without an eviction moratorium, without so many protections that we need. It's been months that Donald Trump actually had to come out and say, you know what, you guys are screwing up too much. I'm just gonna do this. It's little, it's small, it's not enough, but it's something. And all I see from the Democratic Party is them grandstanding or blocking what little relief that we can get. And I don't understand why they can't just go with the skeleton or skinny bill, whatever it is, and just expand from that. I don't understand why everything has to be so partisan. I don't understand why the American people are being held hostage by a Congress who is incapable of doing the right thing when it counts and when it's needed during a global pandemic. It's infuriating. And folks, if this isn't a reason to protest in the streets and to get wild and to start demanding some stuff, then I don't know what is. If this isn't a corrupt government, then I don't know what is. There comes a time where we're going to have to make up in our minds that enough really is enough, and they will not go back to the way they used to, and you will do something for the American people or else. But this is the reality, or the surreality that we live in. 2020, like I said in my last video, has been a trip. It's been very hard for people. I lost my play brother to a trucking accident. I also gained a granddaughter. A lot of stuff is happening this year, and depending on who is president, who's going to win this election, that will determine the next 4 to 8 years in this country, possibly even longer than that. So there's an eternal struggle for the spirit of this country. And right now, I don't see enough people that are truly understanding what's going on. I don't see enough people that are taking off their partisan glasses and truly viewing the world for how it truly is. It's not left, it's not right, it's right here in the middle. Andrew Yang had this saying, he said, it's not left, it's not right, it's forward. And yeah, it sounds kind of cheesy, I'm not going to lie, but it really does make sense. It really does make sense. And I know in order to move forward, you have to have, a compromising position, or you have to at least come together and talk about these things and come up with negotiations. And I don't see either the Democratic Party or the Republican Party willing to do that. It seems as though, honestly, the Republican Party is more so willing to negotiate than the Democratic Party is. Honestly, it's just the Republicans don't want to go far enough. And right now, during a global pandemic, when people are suffering, people are losing their jobs, people are still furloughed, a lot of people still don't have their jobs back, a lot of people don't know how they're going to pay their bills, how they're going to pay their rent. And the Republicans are worried about how much money we're spending and the deficit. And who the hell do we owe? I mean, if these are just numbers on a screen, I don't understand how we're broke, or who cares how much of a deficit we're in as long as the people are taken care of. I mean, yeah, I know maybe to an economics major, I probably sound entirely foolish right now. And I understand that that may very well be the case. I don't claim to be an economics major or political scientist or anybody who knows anything about anything. I'm just a guy speaking on YouTube. These are just my opinions and thoughts, folks. These are just what I feel. I just feel as though that it doesn't require all of this. It doesn't require all of the nonsense. It's so simple. Just take care of the people. We live in the richest country in the history of the world. Just take care of the people the way other countries take care of their people. That's literally all we're asking. But for some reason, it's hard to do that. It's the most difficult thing to do in the United States of America only. So please, folks, make it make sense to me. Fuck them both 2020. That's the only cursing I'm gonna do. And that, on that note, I'm done. I wipe my hands of it. I wipe my hands of this video, folks. It's a douche of the turd sandwich. Joe Biden and Donald Trump. One created the Crime Act. One did the First Step Back. They're both divisive. They're both asses. They're both, in essence, they're both jackasses. I mean, really. And they're both Republicans at the same time. It's so strange how these things work. But folks, this is how they work. They don't. And with all that being said, folks, love, peace, and light. Catch you guys on the next video. Like this video, share, comment, and subscribe. Listen to my Joe Biden diss track. Let me know what you guys think. Like that video, share that video, comment on that video, and subscribe again after you listen to it. Just unsubscribe to my channel and then hit subscribe again. And then hit the little notification bell so you get notifications when I'm finally able to start doing my videos consistently and persistently. You guys will be very happy, and I will in turn be very happy myself. All right, so with all that being said, I'm out.